Good morning, everybody. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
In Provincetown. This week featuring
Wake up, wake up.
Can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey.
Wake up, wake up.
Oh. No, really, can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Hey everybody, it's Friday, September 6th.
We did it. We made it to September.
This is Wake Up in Provincetown.
Yeah. I'm Harrison.
I'm Bob. Thank you for joining us. Hope everybody's having a lovely start to the fall.
Yeah. I really am.
It's not really fall yet. It just feels fall-y at night.
Yeah.
Like the hot summer nights seem like they're over.
Yeah.
Like you have to bring a hoodie to work if you're leaving work at midnight.
Yeah. I broke out the hoodie this past week.
Me too.
Also, I feel like the sun looks different in the fall, and the sun has begun to look different.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
It sits differently in the sky
Yeah.
as we move around it.
It's like a different color.
Yeah.
I don't
different
know.
colors.
Yeah.
The constellations that we see at night are shifting. How was your summer?
My summer was really fantastic.
Wait, which one of you just said, I hate people that are like, the summer's over? The summer's not really over.
It was me.
The summer's not over. It's
Yeah.
towny summer now.
Yeah, just because you decide to leave after Labor Day doesn't mean it's over. It's over for you.
Yeah, I mean, even according to the calendar, what's the first day of fall? September 23rd? Something? 21st?
Okay, we got a
something
couple
like
more weeks.
There's a
Yeah.
couple more weeks of actual calendar summer,
Yeah.
and there's months of towny summer left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going to the beach, going to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Do the pools close? Like, when does the P-Town and pool close?
When it gets cold, I think.
Okay, they just play it by ear.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Did you go to the beach this week?
I didn't go to the beach this
No.
week. I had a really low-key week. Like, everything started to wind down a little. We usually do a show for Devil Wears Payless on Sunday, but because someone had a wedding, we didn't have it. My roommates were out of town, so I just took that opportunity to lay the lowest.
Veg out.
Yeah, I really vegged out. I ate too much. I feel like I gained 15 pounds this week. I don't know if you know, but I stopped smoking weed for the summer.
Really?
Yeah. Like, basically, for like June, July, and August, I didn't smoke any weed. And it
Why?
was just to see what my life is like not smoking weed every day, because it's been like 15 years since I didn't smoke weed every day.
What changes did you notice in yourself?
It's funny. I didn't quite notice any changes except for like slightly less groggy in the morning.
Mhm.
But then this past week, I was like, my roommates are out of town. I'm going to stay home and like cook myself some really great food and watch some TV. What better opportunity than to smoke a little weed? So I did that. And now I notice the changes. Like the things that came back, I'm like, oh.
Like what?
Um,
Anxiety.
A little bit of more anxiety. I feel like that's why I had such a great summers, because I wasn't very anxious. I wasn't as depressed as less feelings of depression.
Okay.
I just had it was really fantastic summer.
And you attribute some of that to having quit weed.
Yeah. And also
Also quitting your restaurant job that was 12 hours a day helps.
so true. Yeah. No, I had a really great summer, but this past week I really just laid low, rejuvenated, rested, cleaned my apartment. It was great. Yeah. You had a wild week though.
Wild?
Well, I feel like just the white party alone.
Oh my God. So the White Party, yet again, a record-setting fundraiser for Outer Cape Health Clinics, north of $170,000 was raised to help our
$170,000.
170,000.
What does that money come from?
It's the people pay, you buy a ticket to go to the White Party.
Okay.
And then all of that money goes to Outer Cape Health. Some people are donating $250. Some people are donating $50. So there's like a tier of tickets.
Oh, cool.
Like
Do you get different things, or is it just like you're rich, give more money?
You're rich, give more money. And also you get the 250 ones are first. So they are guaranteed to, because there is a cap on how many people can go to the party.
Oh, so you can get a ticket and not get in?
No. I'm saying you can get a ticket earlier by paying $250.
Okay,
And then you're
just
like,
to make sure you have one.
Right.
Okay.
And then when they go available online for $50, those are the ones that sell out in 30 seconds.
Literally?
It was like 2 minutes. People were mad.
That's wild.
People were like, what is this, Taylor Swift? I'm like, better. Even better.
It seemed really fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah. How many
Beautiful.
people do go?
800-ish. Yeah.
800?
Yeah.
That's wild. That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah. And do alcohol sales go to Outer Cape as well?
The liquor's donated, so everyone's drinking for free.
Oh.
You pay your ticket, and then it's like open bar.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, it's super fun.
800 people.
800. You were
That
right.
is what I said.
Yeah.
But
I saw a picture of the bartenders. It didn't seem like enough for 800 people.
no, there's 5 bartenders.
That's not enough for 800
No, there's
people.
6 bartenders. Paul and I are co-bartenders.
Bartenders.
But there are 5 bars for
Okay.
people to go to.
Oh, did you used to be the bar back and you got
Only once. And then I was like, we're doing this together to serve twice as many people.
There's
Work.
2 people per bar.
great.
Who
Who was your bar back?
Well, my bar back for the last 13 years has been Tom Coyle, the pharmacist from Outer Cape,
Right.
who decided to go visit his fiance Eric Sussman in New Mexico.
Right.
So my bar back was Peter Sullivan.
Work.
And like the people that come to the white party year after year, you know, we're always in the same place. So they like come and they get to the table and they usually go, "Hi Bob, hi Tom," and they were like, "Hi."
Oh, that's so cute.
I know he got the best
How
reaction.
was he? As
was
a bar
amazing.
back. Good, good.
He actually listens.
He's used to
unlike
picking up after
every
you,
area
so.
of our lives. What? Is this gonna be that kind of show?
Always.
No, he is always. Yeah, he does pick up after
Yeah.
me. Thank you, Peter, for everything you did last Saturday.
You cook.
I cook and he cleans.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a partnership.
Yeah. 50-50? Who knows?
Is this gonna be that kind of show? Ethan?
Always.
What's wrong with these guys?
But congratulations to everyone involved. That is incredible to raise that much money for our local health services.
I know. So
Yeah.
that Outer Cape can be open 7 days a week, and there's somebody there to help you in an emergency.
Mhm.
Like, what are you laughing at? Yeah, I also had because it's the last week or one of the last weeks that a lot of these shows are running. I was like, I better get out and see some shows. And because of a swap at work, I was off on Tuesday. So I was like, I work on Tuesdays, and there were a bunch of shows that were only Tuesday all summer.
See Delta?
I saw Thirsty and Mona.
Oh, work.
And it was Mona's last night.
Mm.
Thirsty has 2 more. But the Thirsty show is so fun because I happened to be in front of a row of women who clearly were either barked in or didn't know anything about the show. Tourists, strangers, not friends of Thirsty. And they're like talking the whole time. And Thirsty's singing. And then at one point, you know, Thirsty has recently gone through a lot of health scares. And Thirsty was like, "My nurse is in the audience tonight. Where are you?" And she stood up and like everyone cried.
Aw.
And like it happened in the middle of a song. And only when Thirsty stopped singing to talk to the nurse, these girls behind me were like, "Oh my God, she's been singing this whole time. I thought she was lip syncing. That's real." And I was like, "I know, shut the fuck up. Shut up. She's really singing." But it's so good that everybody thought she was lip syncing to Cher.
Right, totally.
Brilliant. Thirsty was amazing. You have 2 more chances to see Thirsty Burlington at the Crown and Anchor on Tuesdays at 7.
What is it, like Cher 1987? Is that the name
Yes.
of the show?
So all of those songs from that era.
Work.
I know. After all, just like Jesse James, and you know the one that you expect the most.
Which is Turn Back Time.
Exactly.
Does she wear the outfit?
Yeah.
Work.
Lots of costume changes. Loved it. And then Mona, you know what I loved the most?
Was it relentless?
It was relentless. It was a relentless tirade. It was raw. It was real. It was hilarious
Work.
and sad and moving and brilliant. And on her last night, let me go back a couple of days before Mona. I went to see Joey Arias at the Red Room,
Work.
who we had on the show last Friday. My favorite interview so far of 4 years of this show. Joey, mind-blowing, incredible. That's an event. Like you walk in and you're transported to another time and place. And, you know, we talk a lot about like who's a singer and like who can sing. And you're like, "No, you're a real singer." I'm like, "No, I'm not." That's why I'm like, I'm not a singer, because that's a singer. Like that is a voice that is like so distinctive and mesmerizing. And I don't have that. You know what I mean? So I loved Joey. But then on Mona's last night, Joey's in the front row at Mona.
Oh,
And
fun.
so like Ryan Landry, Penny Champagne, Joey Arias, Tammy Brown, like all of the other stars came out to see Mona's last night. And I'm like, the proof is in the pudding. Like when you are a performer's performer
Mhm.
and every other performer wants to come and see you do your thing, I think that's the highest praise.
Oh, totally.
It was wonderful. It was beautiful. If you didn't see it, you missed it because Mona's done. But this is just a lesson to us all to buy tickets to the shows that are still going.
Mhm.
How many more nights do you have?
13.
13 more. That's great. Don't
Yeah.
say it like that.
No, that was
13.
it was telling you
Oh.
only have 13. But one good thing that I think people would be excited about is all summer our shows have been at 10 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
And they're all moving to 9 o'clock.
Perfect.
And some of them are even at 7:30.
Really?
Yes. There are new
Wow.
posters out and about and around. All of the show times are on the poster. And
Mhm.
also, if you see us out flyering, they are on the flyer as well.
Similarly, my post office cabaret show that was at 10 o'clock on Mondays in the spring is at 9 o'clock in the fall.
Oh, fun.
My next one is September 23rd, which I guess is 2 weeks
Soon.
away.
Who's on it?
3 guests.
Oh, work.
Some really, really fun friends who are going to dazzle you with their talents and vocal prowess. Real
Ooh.
voices, real singers,
Oh.
and one lip sync artist. You'll have to see.
Okay.
What else?
One show we had this week, we had a really wild audience one week, and there was one audience member who sat right in the front row who was really fun. And then it was like, okay, you can be done now.
What happened?
You know, the people who kind of tried to be part of the show, Jamie had to be like, I don't remember casting you in the show.
Said it to them
Yeah.
in the middle of the show?
But I think it was fun, and everyone was laughing at him because he was like making little comments during applause and laughter, and then it turned into making little remarks and comments during our lines. And that's when we were like, okay, shut the fuck up.
That's what we were talking to Judy about, the person that tries to become part of the show.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Observe it.
I did run into him on the street the other night. He was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
Somebody you knew?
No.
Oh.
But he came up to me and was like, oh my God, I just want to tell you the show was amazing. You were so great. I had so much fun. And I was like, oh, right. You were in the front row. He's like, yeah, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, no, it was fine. You got put in your place as long as you're not mad about it. But, it was tons of fun.
Good. So if you see this shirt that I'm wearing today, it is because, well, I mean, it's September, so anybody who's complaining about Augustitis has to stop.
Yeah, what's September?
There are no ailments in September.
Septembacillin.
Everybody loves September.
It's the treatment.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Septembacillin.
The cure for all of the summer ailments that we made up along the way.
Mm.
But Mark Garrett, who's standing right outside of my sock, you're right in my eye line. Will you leave, please? Mark is against anybody complaining about how they feel in August. And I'm just here to tell you that it's real. It's just a level of, I mean, sure, it might seem like a short season to somebody that's not in the service industry.
I am in the service industry.
Hospitality industry, restaurants, specific bars and restaurants is what I'm talking about. Not talking about what you do. It's real. And if people have fatigue after, a lot of these people are working 7 days a week, the people that complain about having Augustitis and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And
People are exhausting.
People are
And you deal
exhausted.
with so many of them while bartending.
Well, exactly. And this has long been true, or at least we observe it to be true, that the type of people that come in August are different than the type of people that come earlier in the season.
Mm.
August people are, there's something like kind of hot. They're like, I waited all year for this, and you need to make sure that my vacation is perfect. And if I perceive that you're doing anything to affect my good time, that like they just get angrier.
Mm.
To my point, I only had 2 bad experiences with guests all summer. I think I told you about the woman who screamed in my face twice.
Did you yell
I
at
want to
anyone?
know why this is taking so long. She said it twice. And I was like, look around. There's hundreds of people in here. That's why it's taking so long.
Yeah.
Sorry that you had to wait a second for your Diet Coke.
It's like, look, it's the ocean. Look at that and enjoy while you wait for your food.
So the other night, this guy comes in, like 60-ish gay dude with his mother who have been like 85 or whatever. They're sitting at the bar. And the first thing they do is complain about the free bread. Like the gay dude goes, listen, I worked in restaurants. No, you didn't. He was like, I worked in restaurants, and you know how bread tastes when it's microwaved? And I said, no, I don't know that. I've never tasted microwave bread. There's not even a microwave where the bread is, so I don't know. And he goes, well, this tastes like you microwaved it. I was like, we didn't. I said, if what you're saying is you want softer bread, I'll go get you some softer bread. So I bring back some new bread. They order 3 courses, appetizers, salad, and dinner. And I say to the man, would you like the salad as a mid-course? Because I'm trying to like, I want you to enjoy yourself. I don't want you to feel rushed. He says yes. The food comes, the salad comes. And while they're like picking at their salad slowly, he goes, is our dinner ever going to come? We have a show in half an hour. And I was like, you should have told me that when you sat down. You have to tell the person, if you're on a timeline, you have to tell the person.
Often restaurants won't tell the kitchen to send to even begin making the next course until you're finished with your course you're on.
Yeah, because we want you to enjoy your time there. I'm not trying to rush you. He's freaking out. He's like, we have to be at Varla in half an hour. I was like, how are you getting there? He goes, I don't know, probably a pedicab. And I was like, call it now. Like, you might have to take your entrees in a box. You'll get to taste it. I'll make sure it comes out as soon as I can. And he goes, you know what you need to do? And I was like, what? What do I need to do? Please tell me
the list is
what
so long.
I need to do. And he's like, as soon as somebody sits here, you need to ask them if they're going to a show. And I was like, that makes no sense. Waiting tables and bartending is not asking. This isn't 52nd Street. It's not Joe Allen. I'm not like, which Broadway show are you about to go to 2 doors down? The Red Inn is all the way.
52nd Street.
The Red Inn is all the way down there. So
Yeah.
if you have a show to go to, you need to plan your time, baby.
Yeah, and especially at the Red Inn, some people make that their night.
Yeah,
often.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is my birthday too. Tomorrow night we're going to see Kathy Griffin at Town Hall. And I was like, you know what you should do? Tomorrow when you go to a restaurant for dinner before Kathy Griffin, as soon as you sit down, tell them that you're going to go see Kathy Griffin so that they can make sure your food comes out in a timely fashion. I didn't know you were going to a show because you didn't tell me. And he goes, well, why did the salad come out by itself? I said, because I asked you if you wanted it as a mid-course. He said, no, I said main course. I was like, you didn't actually say anything. I asked you a question and you said yes. And now the people next to them are like, and then they leave. They get their pedicab and presumably make it to Varla on time.
Yeah.
And the young couple next to them, they were like, you handled that better than that. You were so patient and so you was smart, you was kind, you was patient. And I was like,
You're like,
was
oh,
I?
don't worry, I have a morning show to complain about.
I was like, I felt like I was about to lose it on this guy. He was completely out of hand. That is why people have Augustitis, Mark. That wouldn't have happened any other time. That happened in August. And that's why people have Augustitis.
Yeah.
The end.
Go home after work instead of going out till 3 in the morning.
One
How
controversy.
dare you? I come to your stupid party after work. I go to church on Sundays. That's my night out. And it's
Word.
because I'm off on Monday.
How many more churches?
2 more scheduled, but we'll probably extend.
Oh, fun.
Good.
That's really amazing.
Yes, thank you for
For Townie Summer.
Townie Summer.
Question asking when are tickets on sale for Bob's show and when is the show?
Already.
The show is September 23rd at 9 p.m. It is a Monday, 2 weeks from now, and they are live now. You can go to postofficecafe.net.
The same website where you buy Devil Wears Payless tickets.
Exactly.
You can buy them both together.
We're venue mate.
Oh, we
We
are.
are with Judy. Does Judy have any shows left?
Yeah.
Good.
I know Bitch had her last show, which seemed like such an amazing show. The house was packed. I
She
just,
sold out every Wednesday.
yeah.
I was working Wednesday, and there were people at the bar, and they're like, we're only in town one night. We have time to see one show. What should we see tonight? I was like, it's Bitch's last show. And it was
Oh,
a group
yeah.
of 4 guys, and I sent them there. Last night, I was in line waiting at Sal's, and they were there, and they were like, thank you so much for the recommendation.
Perfect.
They're like, that show was
Mhm.
incredible. She is so talented. Listen to us.
Mhm, mhm.
We know what's good. We talk to them on this show, and we go and see their shows. Trust us.
Yeah. What
Tell people
else?
what else to see.
Oh, Saturday night at the post office, but downstairs in the cafe, I am co-hosting summer camp, which is the Saturday night drag hangout, I guess you'd call it,
Mhm.
with Vivienne. I'm so excited.
Vivian Fontaine.
Yeah. Who is also one of my co-stars in The Devil Wears Payless. She honestly steals the show in The Devil Wears
She's
Payless.
so pretty.
Yeah. But one of my friends who is like a drag super fan told me that halfway through the show he hadn't realized yet that it was a drag queen and thought it was just a woman.
That's
'Cause
passing.
she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I will be co-hosting summer camp Saturday night at the post office with Vivian from 9 to 11. It's kind of just a hangout. Come hang. We have microphones. We yell at everyone. We'll be nice. It's not we make fun of everyone. Well, it's so funny because as I'm barking for Payless, so often people are like, you're not going to drag me up on stage, right? And I'm like,
In Payless?
people don't want that. People
No.
don't want to get drag queens. People don't want that. It's not fun for them.
And the ones that do want it, you know right away.
Yeah.
Somebody that wants to be pulled up on stage is like, me.
Yeah, and also the guy in the front row yelling things. Call him up on
He
stage.
apologized to you.
Yeah, I know, but he was yelling things. Also, this upcoming Tuesday night, right here at the brewery at 9 o'clock, I am co-hosting a debate watch party with Kristen Becker.
I thought the debate was on Monday.
Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Anyone confirm?
It's on
Okay,
Tuesday.
good, because I can't do it on Monday. And yesterday the rules came out. Let me pull them up. So it is Tuesday at 9 on
Okay, good.
ABC. I think if you're not watching it here, which is lame, you can also watch it on Disney Plus and Hulu Plus streaming live. The official rules did come out yesterday, and both candidates have agreed, which I feel like is shocking. So it's going to be a 90-minute debate with 2 commercial breaks. There are 2 moderators, and they will be the only people asking questions.
Great.
So no audience questions, which I think keeping a really close parameters on these debates is necessary. So they do a coin flip before to decide some things. Trump did win the coin toss, which means you either get to choose whether you go first or last on closing statements, or you get to choose what side of the stage you're on.
Oh.
He chose to go last in closing statements, so Kamala chose to be on the right, which I'm like, does either of those things matter? But they probably do.
Yeah.
No hot mics.
Yeah, no opening statements with a 2-minute closing statement. Candidates will stand behind the podium for the duration of the debate. There are no props or pre-written notes allowed. They are only allowed a pen, a piece of paper, and a water bottle. You are 2 minutes to answer questions and 2 minutes for rebuttals, and I think it's 30 seconds or a minute for like
Heckling.
rebuttals.
Rebuttals.
1 minute follow-ups. That's
So
what
he
it
can't be
is.
stalking the stage behind her?
No.
Oh.
Microphones will be muted while the other candidates speak, and candidates are not allowed to ask the other candidates direct questions.
So it's like, don't even talk to me.
Yeah, which I think is great. And as much as I know that they are muting it while the other candidate is talking, I wonder if they'll be able to go over. Like if at 2 minutes your mic cuts out.
No, I bet they give them a couple of seconds grace. You think they're going to stop it right at 2? I mean, we'll find out.
Yeah. I think it's going to be wild.
Is 90 minutes about what it usually is? That feels like they're trying to keep it's like a tighter show or something.
I'm not sure, but
No rambling.
my strength goes out to these 2 moderators. I think you're going to have a challenging
Who
time.
is it?
I didn't write that down.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. I'm glad it's on Tuesday. I thought it was on Monday. Don't wait. So on Saturday, what did you say you're doing Saturday night?
Summer camp.
After you do the Swim for Life.
Yes.
Are you swimming?
No.
You're not on the media
I can't
team?
swim.
They invited you to be on the media team last week. You can't swim?
I can swim. I can't swim however long that is.
There's a half a mile
And didn't you
version.
see there was a shark on Boy Beach?
So I guess there was a shark. Do we have a video of that shark
We
at
don't,
Boy Beach? We
but-
don't.
There was a shark.
No, I love how we're turning into a real life. What's the town in Jaws? Amity. Like as soon as people saw that shark, they were like, "Don't say anything." I was like, "This is what they did in Jaws," and then everyone died. Just tell people what's going on. There was a shark at Boy Beach. It's like this big.
It was bigger than that.
Maybe 7 feet.
But there was a shark. Just be careful.
Yeah. Be aware of your
Vigilant,
surroundings.
aware. Yeah.
Cautious.
I'll ask Brian if I should be worried.
Did you hear that there was a great white in the harbor?
No.
I heard that.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
I was like, it was tiny. It was nothing to sneeze at. And Ethan was like, it was enough to scare me. And I was like, yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was actually quite big.
Also, this I just swim on the other side of the marsh side of the breakwater. There's not even any fish, let alone sharks.
yeah,
You just have to watch out for the crabs.
yeah. And that shark would never have made it into Hatch's Harbor.
Yeah.
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
Really?
One exciting thing happened to me while I was barking this past week. A person passed me on the street, and I don't get starstruck often,
Mm-hmm.
but it was Julia Fox, and I kind of freaked out.
She with Machine Gun?
Who?
She with Machine Gun Kelly?
He was in town?
Isn't that
No, that's Megan Fox.
Oh,
You dummy.
Julia Fox is she was in Uncut Gems, which isn't quite what she's known for. She ended up blowing up as just like an internet personality.
Mm-hmm.
But I've now officially met 4 of the women in the 360 video for Charlie XCX.
Really?
Yeah. And there's like 12 of them. I think I'm gonna eat them all.
This is like your 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Exactly.
Moment.
Exactly.
What did you say to her?
Nothing.
You didn't even say hi?
I went. I went.
No,
I went-
at her?
I went. Devil Wears Payless tonight. That's literally what I did. But
Oh, she must get that a lot.
I'm sure. Yeah. But that was really exciting.
I'm so happy for you.
I do want to talk about a TikTok trend for idiots this past week.
What is it?
It was called the Chase Bank Glitch. And they were telling people if you write a check to yourself and deposit it in the ATM, then you can withdraw that money from the ATM. And it's a glitch. I was like, oh baby, that's check fraud. And you're gonna go to jail.
Oh, and people did it?
People did it. And people are now going to jail.
Don't listen to the internet. That's like the Tide Pods. Don't eat a Tide Pod. Don't write yourself
Okay.
a $300,000 check.
No one ate a Tide Pod.
Well, whatever.
It was like an urban legend. No one was eating Tide Pods.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Ethan.
I trust Ethan.
Ethan, what did
would
it taste
know.
like?
Chicken.
In more political news this week, did you see that there's an organization in America funding far right influencers and paying them up to $400,000 a month to make videos.
A month?
Yeah, to make videos, and then it turns out that company that was paying them was the thinnest veil of a front for Russia.
Really?
Yeah,
Russia wants Donald Trump to win again?
we knew that though.
Well, they made him win last time.
And all these people are like, oh my God, I had no idea that these people paying me $400,000 a month to make one weekly video were Russians. I'm like, I think y'all knew. But it was, I don't know who any of these people are, but they're apparently big names in Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Benny Johnson.
Never heard of them.
Me either. But they're secretly funded by Russian state media employees to churn out English language videos that are often consistent with the Kremlin's interest in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition, which means Trump being president. To weaken the U.S. opposition is Trump being president.
Right.
Yeah.
What? I mean, surprising to anyone.
Not really.
I mean, I read something the other day.
I'll be surprised if they get in trouble for it. That's what I'll be surprised by.
The number of people who identify as like, I don't pay attention to politics is a very large number of people. And the majority of them, like 80% of them, prefer Donald Trump. So people who don't pay any attention at all like Donald Trump. And when asked why, they're just like,
That's
it's fun.
fun.
Yeah. Like, if you weren't paying attention at all, you would have a different opinion. You know? Like, if you paid no attention at all, you might like Donald Trump.
I don't think so. Also, it baffles me when people say they don't pay attention to politics, especially like as a queer person. My politics affects me in so many ways. I mean, not so much living in Provincetown. I'm very lucky to live here in that sense.
Right.
But I have a little thing called empathy, and I think about the other queer people around the country and around the world who are affected by it.
Yeah.
I to not pay attention to politics is such a position of privilege, because you either don't care how it affects you, which is, sometimes I wish I could care less, or it doesn't affect you, which is mind blowing. And especially when people are like, oh, all I care about is taxes. And I'm like, what?
Did you vote Tuesday?
I wish all I could care about is taxes.
Did you vote Tuesday in the primary?
No. How did I miss that?
Yeah, Tuesday was a primary day.
Oh, no way.
There was also, do you know about question 5 on the Massachusetts ballot? You don't?
Am I a person who doesn't pay attention to politics?
You are a person who doesn't pay attention. This is my point. Question 5 was about raising the minimum wage for tipped employees to $15 over the course of 5 years.
Yeah, it was by like 2029, right?
Right, by 2029.
I did
And
know
then
this.
like there's a provision, section 6, which was like this that allows the employer to create a tip pool that can then be distributed to back up like people that are not tipped, which some places do. Some places
Yeah.
have gotten in trouble for before in the past.
Well, it's
for
technically illegal
right.
now.
So I was just wondering how you felt about it, but you didn't know about it. So let's move on.
Okay.
How would you feel?
No, I there's also a lot of news about, I think both candidates have now endorsed not taxing tips, which I also think it's one of those things that looks really great on the surface if you're a tipped employee, but I think once you think about it, it won't be good.
Yeah, no.
I think paying your taxes, just pay your
fair share.
taxes.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. We're on the same page.
Yeah, but I also think there's a huge disparity between front of house and back of house workers. It is something that I've benefited from my entire life, but I don't necessarily think it's fair.
Well, my whole thing is if you're going to raise the wages for anybody, raise them for the people in the back of the house. Make it so that's a desirable job that somebody wants to stay at and can move up in. Don't pay the $6.75 waiter $15 so that you can take the tips and do whatever you want with them. That's how I feel about it. Like most of the servers that I know they don't mind making whatever because they're going to make so much more in tips anyway.
Yeah.
Especially around here. The servers at Provincetown do very well on the whole, I think. And so I was a no on 5. I was just wondering where you stood. I think that you would be no too if you had read the whole thing. But I'm like, who's proposing these things? I don't know anybody that works in restaurants that wanted it to pass.
Yeah.
Except maybe some disgruntled line folks.
Also, if you make less than minimum wage in your tips, you get paid minimum wage.
Right. They have to bring you up to minimum on average.
Yeah.
Anybody in town that is in danger of not averaging out to $15 an hour once you factor in their tips and stuff. So no on 5.
Great.
Oh, look, say.
Oh, speaking of things, other things we're doing this weekend, I am seeing Edie Saturday night. I'll be there in drag because I'm gonna have to get in drag before it to go. I don't know if Edie's gonna hate that or not. Just having my gigantic
You
wig
were the guy in the front row pulling focus.
in my wig. Yeah. And then also Sunday they did add a extra show of Rocky Horror Picture Show because they did have to cancel all of last week's shows. But this Sunday at 2, they are adding a final matinee. I talked to Eden yesterday at around noon, and she said there were 20 tickets left. So there probably aren't any tickets left, but call right now and maybe there are.
Yeah, I heard Mackenzie stepped into the role.
Yeah, I heard she's doing a fantastic
minute
job.
notice and is pulling off a miraculous performance for somebody that stepped into it with no notice.
I wouldn't
at all.
expect anything less from
I
Mackenzie.
know. Way to go, Mac.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to weather. This is Sean with the weather.
Take it away.
Top of the morning to you guys. I'm here in the West End on yet another beautiful day, and just like that, it's September. Warm days, cool nights, quiet streets. Towny summer has officially arrived. But why do we call it Towny summer? At this point of the summer, many tourists have left. Town becomes relaxed, businesses cater primarily to locals, and the pace of life slows down. It's a time when those of us who live here can enjoy town without the hustle and bustle of tons of people, a time when we can reconnect with each other and recharge. And the weather, it's usually stunning. This week has been no exception, and I am delighted to report again that our upcoming forecast is fantastic. Today will be bright and beautiful. Tomorrow clouds will build, and we might see some showers during the overnight, but high pressure returns for Sunday, and it should be a stunner, kicking off another week of great weather. Tides are normal, nothing crazy. Your feet will be dry headed to Boy Beach, but they might be a little bit wet on the return. Nighttime activities are in the clear. Speaking of Boy Beach, we had quite the thrill this Wednesday when what looks like a sizable thrasher shark washed up on shore after becoming entangled in a boat anchor line. I'm told there was a lot of excitement on the beach, but of course, I was totally oblivious. I was swimming off another boat about a mile offshore, completely in shark territory. Sharks are everywhere here, but we rarely see them. The local waters have been teeming with wildlife lately. Whales, dolphins, seals, tuna, stripers are all normal and are turning up everywhere. 2 weeks ago, my friend caught a 700-pound bluefin tuna off Long Point, the very tip of Cape Cod, and boy, was it delicious. I have been eating tuna nonstop, and I still have a ton in my freezer. Finally, my Wake Up colleague Ann Hutchinson has her last show of the season at Red Room tonight at 8:30. I was at her previous show. She is hilarious, which of course you know by Wake Up. Do not miss tonight. Tickets are at the door. I know she would love to see you there. I will also be there. Next week is the last week for Daily Tea at the Boat Sleep, after which they switch to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through the second week in November. Today, of course, Friday is Dog Tag Tea, so gear up and report for duty starting at 4. Everyone have a great weekend and enjoy Towny summer. For those of you in town, I will see you at tea. Guys, back to you at the brewery.
On for that incisive and accurate weather report.
Please welcome
Are you
Adam
having
Moss.
fun?
Good. Please welcome Adam Moss to Wake Up. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Your new book, The Work of Art, takes a deep dive into the creative process. What was it about that sort of it's so mystical to most people, how a piece of art is born? Like what
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a Provincetown story.
Oh.
So I have a place that used to be the Hawthorne School of Art.
Mhm.
And so it's like, full of ghosts of all the old painters. And I had a long career as a magazine editor in New York. And I just always liked the visual part of my job. And so I started to paint.
Mhm.
And I wasn't a particularly good painter. And it frustrated me enormously. And I began to get kind of obsessed with the idea of what goes on in an artist's head as they're making art. And also wanted to kind of explore whether that was what was true for visual art would be true for novels or plays or architecture or cooking even. So I got this idea, this notion that you should, that if you try to trace a given work from beginning to end through the sort of mind of the artist as they're making it, I might learn some things about how an artist thinks, and maybe I'd be a better artist myself. I don't know. That was the thought. I'm not really, but it's a really interesting book, and I learned a lot. So that's what it is. It's a lot of Provincetown people in the book.
Oh, like who?
Tina Martina.
I would love to know how she comes up with stuff.
She has a notebook, like a little notebook of her kind of, assorted flying thoughts as they go through her head. Tony Kushner's in the book for Angels in America. Michael Cunningham is in the book for The Hours. Marie Howe is often up here, a long-term Provincetown person. Is up here for a poem she wrote called The Singularity.
So it's not like a general how do they create. It's like how did you create this
yeah, it's like
project?
it's work specific. But basically my thought was that the way that people would be most honest and least kind of gassy. I mean, when people talk about creativity, they often get kind of bullshitty. And I felt that if they were sort of yoked to a single work, and also the book, I should say, is full of artifacts of the works, so that there's kind of visual record, like notes and sketches and doodles that would help keep the thing more honest, and that they would be kind of prodded by seeing this. Oh yeah, and in fact, this is true over and over again. They didn't remember this. Oh yeah, that line came from a dream. Oh yeah, etc. So anyway, so there's a kind of blueprint of the artist's mind.
I'm also sure when people are talking about like the general idea of how they create, they get really romantic about it.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about something specific, you have to include the time you ripped everything up, the time you threw everything in the trash.
Absolutely. And it really is it's a book of kind of marching through failures, because that's kind of the way it almost always works, and it's the sort of capacity to work your way through failure that makes you able to actually finally do the thing. But the romance is like a lot of people want to hold on to that romance and want to, have a kind of mystical idea about how they make stuff, and that there's truth in that. But for the book's purposes, I did manage to find an amazing bunch of people who were willing to kind of go through psychotherapy with me and walk through how things.
And because there were so many different types of artists that you interviewed for the book, did you find a through line? Like the fact that, like, are there things that a screenwriter and a painter have in common with how they create their art?
Yeah. I mean, broadly. I mean, specifically, everybody's process is different. And that's kind of one of the things that I learned in the book, is that there's 43 case studies in the book. And there are 43 different ways people work through it. But broadly speaking, there's a kind of, almost three-part process that has to do with kind of imagining and then judging, which is really a lot of what the book's about, which is like judging, which is creating strategy around making the thing, and then the shaping, which is really craft. So in that sense, they're all basically working through the same stuff. It requires there are certain, I think, characterological traits that make someone able to do this, which have to do, in a broad way, with being able to kind of traverse from their imagination to to their kind of intellectual side, to their brain, and bear down, make it a thing.
Who were some of your favorite people that you talked to?
I don't have any favorites.
That's a lie.
But you know, there are some that are really kind of deeper. There's like it's a sort of, some of them are very fast and funny, I hope, and some of them are deeper. There's one painter named Amy Silman who shared with me. She's an abstract painter, beautiful abstract painter, who's also been up here, and she shared with me hundreds of iterations of one painting, and then she narrates her way through it. Although I published about 30 of them. That's kind of amazing. Tony's is really kind of amazing because the story of Angels in America is astonishing. From actually, I mean, if you know the play, right? Mm-hmm. So you know the central visual theatrical image of the angel crashing through the ceiling did actually come to him in a dream. He dreamt he'd had a friend who was, I guess at that point, dying of AIDS, and that happened to him in Tony's dream, and then there was the long labyrinthine process by which that got turned into a play, which is both funny and weird and strange and great in the way that Tony's mind works. You know, Louise Gluck, the Nobel Prize-winning poet, you know, takes me through one poem. She's a poet I kind of revere, that she was willing to put herself, because it's not easy to subject herself to this kind of exercise, particularly if you are, as she is, rooted to the idea that that she's just a vessel, or she was. She's dead now, but she was just a vessel through which all of this transpired. But there's, you know, there's lots of it. There's like cartoons, and a lot of the visual stuff is really fun and a little bit intrusive in a sense, in the, you know, it's their sort of private thoughts, and I was grateful that they were willing to share all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you can get that at stores in Provincetown?
In bookstores of Provincetown, yeah. Right now it's in the window of both the bookstores in Provincetown. Yay.
Pick up The Work of Art by Adam Moss in town, you guys. And if you see him, say hi.
Hi.
Unless you don't want people to say hi to you.
No, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you for having me on.
Of course.
We're gonna head over to KT for this week's horror scope.
Ooh.
I'm KT, and this is your Wake Up in Provincetown weekly horror scope. Today's atrocities, Friday, September 6th. Your big mouth can get you into trouble as Mercury squares Uranus. Communications and interactions around this transit can be shocking and unsettling. This is not great astro weather to achieve a mutual understanding. Conversations will not go as expected. Any statement that can be prefaced with a, please don't take this the wrong way, it will be taken the wrong way. So skip giving people the benefit of the doubt today for best results. On Saturday, the sun will oppose Saturn. Something or someone is getting discontinued today. This is a transit about insurmountable obstacles and setbacks, and whatever major situation ending that is culminating around this time, it's probably something that you've been feeling all week already. This is one of those felt for several days kind of transits. But with this astro weather, it's finally time to make the call. Time to end it. On Sunday, Mercury will move into home sign Virgo. We are nearly out of the Mercury retrograde period, and the mental fog will soon lift. On Wednesday, Mercury will sextile Mars, which is mildly horny but majorly productive. Great astro weather to cross a few things and people off of that to-do list. And on Thursday, the sun will square Jupiter. This is big YOLO energy. Time to get excited and do wild shit. Will it be mildly regrettable later? Probably. Will it be majorly fun while it's happening? Yes. Fuck it. Alrighty, that's your Wake Up in Provincetown horror scope. I'm KT.
KT, I'm scared.
Horoscope.
Yeah. Please welcome Diane from the International Women's Flag Football Association.
Good job.
And in 2 weeks?
This weekend.
This weekend.
Today.
Is the Provincetown.
Today's the parade.
Oh,
Today's
word.
the parade.
Awesome.
So actually, it's the 18th IWFFA P-Town Classic.
Oh,
Women's
That's
flag
right.
football tournament. And nobody really knew about the first 17. So this year we're doing a parade.
Oh, awesome.
And so on Commercial, starting from Pearl Street to Franklin, 6 p.m., we're going to march down Commercial and to make the announcement, to let everybody know. We're looking for drag queens, because you guys always liven things up, parties. I always tell my straight friends, you got to invite gay guys to your parties because they make it more fun. And this year for the so that's the parade, and then we have the registration over at the Harbor Lounge, and something really special. You know, women sports. We have women living here in Provincetown who played in the 50s, and life was very different for the female athlete. Like I'm from the 60s. I'm 65. And we didn't have teams. And to play, we were ridiculed, not respected. And so we've got stories to share. So we've got some of the local women athletes from the 50s are going to share their stories at the registration.
That's amazing.
We have a woman from South Sudan, because we are international. And she's going to share her story, what it's like to grow up in South Sudan as a young girl and a woman. It's another world. And then we have the game starting at Mata Field tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Both days they start at 9 a.m. And we have 6 teams. We have a team from El Salvador.
Wow.
And what I do is I travel all over to promote the event. This year I went to Pakistan, New Zealand, Canada. And in Canada it was very special because last year I shared that we got asylum for 73 of our flag football women in Afghanistan to Mexico. Well, since then they climbed over the fence, and that's another story. I don't know if I should share it, but it's scary. It's a riveting experience, and most of them landed in Canada. So I went to Canada, Toronto, to support them with the flag football. And they have to be educated. They have to speak the language, English, fluently. And so we went to they go to the international school, and that's where I met Susie from South Sudan and other international women. And so now we've established teams and leagues in Winnipeg and Toronto. And next year we'll have a full Afghanistan women's flag football team in P-Town. They have to get their permanent residency. So, and then we have the special team called the Loose Women's Team, and we're looking for players.
The Loose Women's Team?
Individual players who don't have their own team. They're loose players, and we call them Loose Women. And Underground sponsors them, so it's free. And it's a wonderful experience. Whether you know how to play or not, whatever your skill level, we don't care if we win or lose. We just want to play and have fun. And that's the Loose Women's Team. And any woman can join. Any identified woman. We have trans women are allowed to play in our league.
Amazing.
Then you just call Coach Diane. I'm going to give the number now.
Okay.
305-896-8678. For loose women and drag queens. And then we have the championships, playoffs and championships on Sunday. We'll be out there on Mata. So Saturday 9 to 5, then the party at the Underground Saturday night, and then Sunday morning, playoffs and championships. We'll be off the field 3:30. Our championship game takes place. Then we go to the Harbor Hotel for the awards, and then we have Monday, we have a tour of the dunes on the bicycles. You know, the bike shack, Liz, she gives everybody the bicycles for free.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so we tour around Provincetown Monday, whale watch, and all those good things. And yeah, so I think I told you. Do you have any questions? I think I mentioned everything on
Yeah,
the
I think
list.
you nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed that you take what in its core is a fun social event, and you just add so much activism and inclusivity and really making everyone involved feel really great to be there.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we're a women's organization first. And we use flag football to unite women all over the world. It's an excuse to go to these countries. I'm a million-miler traveler. American Airlines gave me a keychain,
Wow.
and they gave me 35,000 bonus miles,
That works.
which comes in handy. But you know, women all over the world, we're really lucky to be here. And even the USA, we have discrimination on different ends. But it's an excuse to unite the women. The flag football, 8-on-8, there's blocking shoulder to the waist, kicking, punting. It's close to the NFL, no tackling, no helmets, but it really empowers you. So that's the challenge, the physical skills, whether you played or not. You know, I'm going to go around town now handing out flyers to any woman, asking her to join the loose women's team. And that's who we want, those women who've never played sports. We want non-athletic women so that we could unite because we want to one day rule the world for peace and love.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Connecticut, but this past year, so I've always been into women's basketball. This past year, I've gotten so into it. How do you feel about just the explosion of women's basketball in the last year?
Are you reference Caitlin Clark? I don't follow basketball. I follow political podcasts. And I found out about Caitlin Clark on a political podcast.
Wow.
Very interesting. I don't know if it's propaganda, if it's media exploit. I don't know what they're doing to Caitlin on that basketball court, but I saw her in action. I wanted to check her out. She's a team player. She's clean. I'm very impressed. And she should take as many bumps and penalties that they give her, and she should be the role model for all of women's sports. That's how we should play. We should support one another. I don't understand what if anyone doesn't know, there's a lot of players on the other teams. They've been fouling Caitlin. Some pretty bad fouls, very blatant. I don't know why the officials are not calling the penalties. So, but she's the essence of what the IWFFA is about. We use the social events so that we could make friends with the other teams, so that when the game is over, we shake hands, we have fun, and we do the halftime games. Who could throw the furthest, kick the longest, potato sack race, wheelbarrow, piggyback races. It's to have fun, to take that competitive edge. Our challenge in the United States is that flag football is compared to the tackle mentality. You take down your opponent. Flag football mentality, you grab a flag. And the women play with a different style. We have estrogen. So we should play with strategy and finesse. It's a smarter game. And the game really is strategic. So that's what when I travel over the world, I emphasize it's not about winning, it's about playing your best. Because when you play your best, you learn much more life skills. I'm organizing this over 45 years, women's flag football. And I've been with players they want to win so much. As soon as they start losing, they get sour. They complain about the refs. They complain about the other team. They start coming into the huddle complaining about our players. That's not what sports should be for. And we will professionalize the sport. 2 years, we're going to professionalize it. We're going to house the teams, different regions, and we're going to be in Sweden. And Högsvik, Sweden, that's exciting because the township in Högsvik are really excited to have us there. So we'll be there for a month. We're going to practice, train, compete. Everybody walks away with $1,000. $1,000 salary, because sports should not be about money. It should be about the sportship. And so keep the athleticism in there. Don't turn it into a business. And the women, we're lucky in a way. We don't have the media coverage the men do. We don't get the salaries that the professional men's sports do. But that's great because sports should be for the athleticism, making friends, socializing, making the women want to get involved in their communities. Another thing I'll explain, we want the women to coach young girls. And in the Florida Keys, I live in Key West, only moms are allowed to coach the girls because when the dads coach, it's tackle flag football. When the moms coach, it's night and day. We want the young girls to see the moms as leaders so that they know that they can be a coach or they could be a leader. In 2000, I went to Finland and I had started a brand new team in Helsinki. And the women in Finland have been playing for 7 years. And I'm ready to leave. And I says, listen, we got a new team in Helsinki. Who wants to coach them? Oh, no, we can't coach them. A man has to coach them. Swear to God. And so it was amazing. So that stuck in my head. So we are beginning to get our female players, when they're ready to hang up their cleats, to coach a girls team. And that's going to be the seed. And I'll just give a report about our Afghans. They're doing great.
Good.
Most of them are in Canada now. I should tell you a funny story, though. You know, when it came to that wall, so they're in Mexico, and they're going to come across to Canada. There's an 8-foot wall, and there's a Mexican man with an 8-foot ladder, and they got to pay him $200. And everybody just went over this 8-foot ladder, and then they went into the United States. So, you know, you think about that Trump wall, how much money he spent. They got to find that man who's got that 8-foot ladder. And then I think you can control immigration.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a really fantastic weekend. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. If you think you might want to be on the Loose Women team, reach out to Diane. Give the number one more time.
305-896-8678. We need drag queens. People, join our parade. Please come watch. 6 p.m. tonight. Pearl Street, we take off. Loose Women, come join us. And please come watch the games at Mata Field. And I want to thank all of our sponsors: Summer House, Bike Shack, Harbor Lounge, Underground, Harbor Hotel, Luke's Lobster, and Michelle Rizzuto. Michelle sponsored the parade because you have to have a police escort, and she footed the bill.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, say hi to them in the street tonight. Join the parade.
Yeah.
And thank Wake Up Provincetown.
you.
Thank
Of
you
course.
guys
Thank
very
you.
much.
Of course,
Good to see you.
anytime. Let's head over to Ann Hutchinson with the traffic.
Hello everyone, it's me, Ann Hutchinson, the lady of the streets herself, and today I'm going to be using the traffic for shameless self-promotion like Trump in a military cemetery, because tonight I have a comedy show at Red Room, 8:30 p.m., and it may be the last time that you see me, Ann, on stage trying to give you jokes, because I think this year there was a do not enter sign on the front of my show because no one fucking came. But that's very interesting to me because do not enter signs look exactly like the top of fleshlights. So I don't really understand. It's not really telling you the message through imagery, is it? But you'll all come to my show because not only will it possibly be the last time I'll be on stage trying to tell jokes, there's another bitch we got telling jokes now. Her name's Lucinda Liphole, and we look exactly alike. We probably have the same doctor or something, and though the doctor probably gives us the same service, there's no way that Lucinda gives the doctor the same services that I do. So anyways, come out, 8:30, Red Room tonight, stand-up comedy with me and some other bitch. And thanks so much for listening to the traffic report today.
Thank you, Ann. Go see her show. Please welcome Kai Potter from the Provincetown Independent to Wake Up.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Really good. Wellfleet native.
Wellfleet native.
Born and raised. Wow.
Yeah.
And you've been writing for the paper for 5 years.
About 5 years. Yeah.
And I mean, just the stuff that I've read of yours, it tends very like nature, surfing. Like that's your first love.
That's my subject. Yeah. Nature and surfing, and they're tied together very closely.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good overlap. Yeah.
Have you been surfing your whole life?
I have. I was taught to surf when I was about this big, and I think some of my first memories are being stood up on the surfboard and pushed into waves. So yeah, it's been a lifelong passion and thing that I've just always done since the start.
You seem to know a lot about the wildlife here. Did you go to school for any of that?
I did. I studied, did a stint at art school, and then I studied landscape design and architecture. And otherwise, everything else I know is just from being out in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I work. My work is landscape design and gardening. So I'm just always out in the world with my hands in the ground. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
People come here in the summer, and I understand there's so much to do in the summer, but I think the kind of like ecotourism, like wanting to come here to be in nature and see all that Provincetown and the Outer Cape has to offer is something that is a little undersold in town, especially in the winter. I feel like come here. I go for hikes every day in the winter. What are your favorite hikes around town?
Well, I can't give you all the
That's so
proper,
true.
really
That's
good
so
secret,
true.
secret stuff.
You can tell me after.
Yeah, I'll write it down. There's a lot, and I don't necessarily like have a specific one. I like to just start sort of walking, but definitely one is just the beach. Any of the beaches. I love to go to Newcomb's and just walk up and down the length of the beach. The beach is always a new place every time you go to it.
Very true.
And I know a lot of people know about this, but the Provincelands Dunes is one of my favorite go-to spots because it's just such a strange and beautiful spot. So,
Yeah, and also if you're biking, it's like you bike 20 feet and all of a sudden it's like an entirely new landscape.
It changes you're in sand dunes and then there's a bog out in the middle. It's like a little oasis. It's such a strange place. So every time I go there, it's stunning. So yeah, that's a favorite.
And you're surfing all winter, right?
Yeah.
Because I usually go to the Beachcomber in the middle of the winter at least once or twice just to like walk around on the beach. And I always see people surfing and I'm like, it's freezing out here.
Yeah, I'm one of those crazy people
Yeah.
with the hood and the gloves and the boots. And winter is when it's best here to surf. In the summer, it's very calm and it's like more playful. In the winter, we get a lot more swell and it's really raw and pretty intense. And that's the time.
I've heard.
Don't tell anybody that.
I've heard people say that surfing is best around here. Like people think surfing, they think Southern California, but I've heard that the surfing is better here.
It depends what type of surfing you like.
Okay.
It's very intense, heavy beach break. But yeah, it's when it's good, it's good. It's not good often, and it's hard to find it when it's really good. You have to be here and you have to know what you're looking for, and you can't really crack the code unless you're here.
Right.
But if you're here on the right day, it's as good as I've ever seen it anywhere in the world.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I was just talking to my doctor yesterday. I had a doctor's appointment, and he was like, I can't believe how many people want to come here in the middle of the winter. I was like, I can. Like, it's amazing here. Like, what are you talking about, Dr. Shea? It's beautiful here.
Yeah.
He lives in Wellfleet too, and I'm like,
I know.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Come visit in the winter. Go surfing.
So tell us a little about your book.
Yeah, so the book is it's noticing the quiet season on Outer Cape Cod.
I love it.
What a great segue, Bob.
Yeah, right into it. So it's a collection of essays about the natural environment that is this sort of strange space that is the world of the Outer Cape. It's arranged over a seasonal arc, so fall, winter, spring, what I like to call the quiet season, the off season, because that's when you really get to know this place and like get to know yourself and connect with this space.
Sometimes a little too much.
Yeah, you got to be comfy with this. You got to have some hobbies, you got to have some interests, and you got to get out every day.
People, I would say I have a hard time in the winter, and people are like, "Why?" I'm like, "There's too much time to think."
There's a lot of that. Yeah, you get in there.
Yeah.
But get outside more and run around. And the other thing it's about really is what the title implies, is this idea of noticing, which is sort of slowing down and checking in with your environment and seeing what's out there, and like sort of following where your curiosity leads and connecting to your surroundings, which I think is something we can all benefit from, and something I try to do and hopefully encourage other people to do when they read this. Yeah.
Where are they selling this?
This is for sale at Provincetown Independent through the website. It's also available at bookstores throughout Provincetown, like East End Bookstore, Provincetown Bookshop, Brewster Bookstore, C. Howell Books in Orleans, Wellfleet Marketplace, and Frying Pan Gallery are all carrying it right now.
Oh, wow.
And hopefully more and more.
When did it come out?
Just a month ago.
No way.
Yeah, we just
Congratulations.
published a
That's
month ago.
amazing.
Yeah, they're moving. It's good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Excellent.
This is also such a perfect like Christmas gift or birthday gift for anyone who loves Provincetown, especially if they don't come in the off season.
Right.
Show them what there is to love in the off season.
Yeah, but just give it to the right kind of people you want here in the off season.
Right.
So true. Yeah, we're also protective. We're like, come, but
we don't want to blow this
We're
up.
like,
He's like, don't come surfing.
come, but be cool. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, come and just take walks and be chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
nice to meet you. Appreciate it.
Check out the
Thanks.
provincetownindependent.org. Look for Kai in the byline and get this book. I'm
Noticing
excited.
by Kai Potter.
It's also beautiful. Such a great.
Yeah, they did a good job with it. It was a lot of work, and I'm happy with it. It feels good in the hands.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming in. A big thank you to our sponsors, the Crown and Anchor, Provincetown Brewing Company, Boat Slip, Shipwreck at the Brass Key, Provincetown Business Guild, P-Town Tourism, as well as P-Town TV.
Thank you for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
And we will see you next Friday.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown.